it seems to me that it's mighty interesting that a girlfriend, I don't know when they broke up, but a girlfriend would know a lot about a boyfriend. And what can you tell me about this lady?
Yeah, I can't tell you much, Craig, other than obviously she's very interested in the case, as are lots and lots of people. As I campaign around the state, I get questions about Ramsey. Lots of places, many, many people are interested. And everybody that knows about the case has strong feelings about what a tragedy
Right,
is.
and there is a rumor that you're campaigning for a higher office in Colorado. Is it true you're running for Attorney General?
I am. I
kid around because a lot of the oxygen is taken away by the governor's race and the senator's race. But, Stan, I used to be your chief deputy, and, again, I expect you've thought about this, but if you did arrest somebody for the murder of Jean-Benet Ramsey, your name recognition would go through the roof.
Well, yeah, I suppose it would. But the bottom line is, as I've said, the evidence will determine whatever happens with this case. I hope it's solved at some point. I hope there's a successful prosecution.
And at 303-713-8255, love your thoughts. Now we're going to have Thomas Grogan. He's this documents examiner who claims that this fella, Chris Wolf, actually wrote the Ramsey ransom note. That comparison is up at KHOW.com, Caplis and Silverman page, also linking to and Dan and Craig, 630 KHOW, Boulder DA Stan Garnett, kind enough to join us a moment ago. And it says, refused to answer the question of whether he's ruled the Ramseys out, and said that if people have information they think is important regarding anybody, including a Ramsey, that they should forward that to the Boulder PD. So we go to the VIP line now. Thomas Grogan joins us. He's President Chief Examiner, Forensic Document Laboratory, Inc., and it was his comparison of the quote-unquote ransom note in the Ramsey case to a compendium-type handwriting sample from another individual, Chris Wolf, which was featured in this half-page ad in the Boulder Daily Camera saying, reopen the case. Thomas, welcome to 630 KHOW.
Thank you, Dan and Craig. Appreciate you having me on.
Thomas, first question people driving down the road are probably asking is, why get in the middle of this?
I asked myself that myself. When I was first told that this was involving the Ramsey case, it was just on the end of the whole John Mark Carr deal, and I thought, okay, here we go again. Didn't we just go through this a few months ago?
Mm-hmm.
But the lawyer who called me said, well, at least take a look at it. They might have something here, and we want you to examine it and render an opinion. So I was like, okay, send me what you got, and let me take a look.
Hey, Tom, did you do it for free, or did you charge your usual fee?
I charged the usual fee.
And who was the lawyer who hired you?
A gentleman by the name of Craig Skinner.
Out of Denver, I know Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting. And did you know any more about Jacqueline Brungart? Is Craig Skinner the lawyer for Jacqueline Brungart, the former girlfriend of Chris Wolf?
I believe so. And I don't know that empirically. I was called by a lady initially that I thought was, I could only assume was Jacqueline. When I asked her contact information, she said, well, just call me Jackie. I was like, okay. And then when Mr. Skinner contacted me, he gave me a bit more of the information of...
now, you're in North Carolina, right?
That is correct.
And what did they send you to compare? Tell us how you went about the comparison.
Well, yeah, that's one of the things that I saw the ad, and it was the way it was worded. There's a few things I'd like to clarify, because I think the way it was worded may give rise to some misinterpretation. I was given basically a copy of all 3 pages of the ransom note. I was also given an excess of 300 copies of journal entries, some a number of months out of a calendar with some handwriting on it. I had requested, ideally, I'd like to have some more official documents, something notarized, a contract that may have been signed and someone's witness, canceled checks, that type of thing. Unfortunately, at that time, I guess those type of documents were not available to me. The way the ad was worded, I understand there's an image on the right-hand side, that is identified as a recreated note.
Right.
Okay. That is my understanding is that that document was created by Jacqueline herself.
Oh, okay.
And submitted to me. I did not create that, and as a result, I did not accept that document, nor did I include it in my examination.
Oh, interesting. So you reached your conclusion independent of this quote-unquote recreated note. So
that's right.
What conclusion did you reach?
Based on the 300-plus pages of journals and calendar entries, I basically took it page by page, letter by letter, examined it to the ransom note, and my conclusion was that there was sufficient evidence to support the conclusion that they were written by the same person.
Do you think they were written by the same person?
Based on what I have from what was submitted to me, yes, I do. Now, I understand the Colorado Bureau of Investigation examined their evidence and came to a different conclusion. So, I mean,
what did they say? Did they say no way, or did they say inconclusive?
My understanding is that their conclusion was that it was not written by the same person.
Well, how can that be? You're both experts, or CBI.
Well,
we pay them a lot of money. They should be objective. Are you objective?
Yes, I am, and I'm sure the Bureau is as well. A lot of that depends on the type of the evidence that is submitted. It's very possible that they were submitted evidence that I was not.
But you guys are 180 degrees apart. That doesn't make sense to me. I could see one saying inconclusive, and you say, no, I think I can make the call. But for one to say definitely yes and the other to say definitely no, that seems strange to me. 300 pages that you looked at, that had to be pretty painstaking work. How much time did you spend on this?
Off and on, I spent, I think, a period of over, 7 or 8 months, just going over it page by page.
Boy, how much did they pay you?
Let's see. I think initially they paid me $600. My retainer is $600, and then I think they paid me a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm not at my office right now, so I don't have my
$600
or 600,000. I mean, you would think that it's an enormous amount of money for all the time you put into it.
they pay me at least over $1,000 for the excess time to do the
Well, given all the time,
what's your hourly rate? $12 an hour?
I'm asking because in our own law practices, we both do plaintiff civil work, and we're used to writing these enormous checks to world-class experts.
Right.
And,
I have to keep smelling salts handy when I write those checks.
Was this more kind of a labor of love on your part, or?
Well, the initial fee that I gave them, they said, well, she doesn't have this much money. I said, well, and I was already into the examination, so I thought, well, just settle for what they have available as far as funds, or just cut this one loose.
So you donated a lot of your time. We're just confused. You said I painstakingly looked at 300 pages. I did it over the course of 7 or 8 months. It took that long. How does that square with you only being paid $1,000?
Well, basically, I have enough business from other clients that if somebody's in a financial strait, I don't have any problem with working with them on.
Well, isn't the bottom line you had an intense interest in the Ramsey case? And listen, I know some of the people the very best at what they do, who could make any amount of money they wanted to from any client, who devoted a lot of volunteer time to the Ramsey case when they were asked to by law enforcement, out of an interest of trying to seek justice here. Was that your motivation? Were you thinking about publicity? I mean, and we only have 20 seconds left in this segment, but bottom line, what drove you on this?
If there was any way that I could prove that such and such a person wrote this, if there was any chance of that, I wanted to be able to have justice served in that.
Well, Mr. Grogan, we sure appreciate your time, sir. Thank you for that.
Sir.
And again, the comparison now, as Mr. Grogan explained, he didn't prepare this so-called recreated note, but that is up at KHOW.com, Caplis and Silverman page. Dan and Craig, 630 KHOW.